Welcome to the longest running quiz show in the area. Categories. High school students compete to answer questions on topics from art to science, history to current events. And now, here's your categories host, John Bartell.
Hi, welcome to Categories. Today we're bringing you a contest between the two original Blue Valley schools, high schools, as we bring you the Blue Valley North Mustangs versus the Blue Valley Tigers. Let's go ahead and meet our contestants for the day. And first from Blue Valley North.
I'm Amanda, and I'm a senior.
I'm Luigi, and I'm a senior.
I'm Charlie, and I'm a junior.
I'm Anish, and I'm a senior.
I'm Will, and I'm a junior.
And our competitors from Blue Valley.
I'm Kevin, and I'm a senior.
I'm Jonathan, and I'm a senior.
I'm Yanji, and I'm a senior.
I'm Gotham, and I'm a junior.
I'm Howard, and I'm a senior.
Fantastic. Here on Categories, in the first round, we do take turns answering questions. However, if a team does respond incorrectly, the other team will get a chance to steal that point. We did a coin toss before we started taping, and it was won by Blue Valley North. And so Mustangs, here is the first question, and the category is fashion. The miniskirt was the rage of the 1960s. The flapper style was the in-look of what decade? Amanda.
The 1920s.
1920s is correct. Tigers, this is a long art question. This great Italian artist so impressed the Emperor of the Holy Roman Empire, Charles V, that he was honored as a Knight of the Golden Spur and made a Count, and his children given all the privileges of a royal birth. Among his masterworks was Charles V at Muhlberg, Man with a Glove, Venus of Urbino, and the Assumption of the Virgin. Who was he? Jonathan?
Raphael.
That is incorrect. Mustangs, chance to steal this art question. This great Italian artist so impressed the Emperor of the Holy Roman Empire, Charles V, he was honored as a Knight of the Golden Spur and made a Count, and his children given all the privileges of royal birth. Among his masterworks were Charles V at Muhlberg, Man with a Glove, Venus of Urbino, and the Assumption of the Virgin. Who was he? Time on that. We're looking for Titian. Mustangs, you have the next category, which is literature. James Fenimore Cooper based the character of Natty Bumppo on which man who was born in 1734? Amanda?
Daniel Boone.
It is Daniel Boone. Tigers, you get the next category, which is famous quotes. After returning from a visit to the Lone Star State, he said, "If I owned Texas in hell, I would rent out Texas and I would reside in hell." Named as a Civil War general who fought in the Battle of the Texas border. Kevin?
Stonewall Jackson.
That is incorrect. Mustangs, your chance to steal this famous quotes category. After returning from a visit to the Lone Star State, he said, "If I owned Texas and hell, I would rent out Texas and reside in hell." Named as a Civil War general who fought a battle on the Texas border. Charlie?
Sheridan.
It is Sheridan. Mustangs, you get the next category, which is music. This record sold about 3 million copies in the 50s. Patti Page popularized it. Name the song, which is the official song of the southern state mentioned in its title. Amanda?
Tennessee Waltz.
It is the Tennessee Waltz. Tigers, you have the next category, which is geography. The Himalayas result from a collision between which two land masses? Gotham.
India and Asia.
India and Asia is exactly what we were looking for. Mustangs, current events is your category. A no-show since the training camp began. Who stepped down as the Phoenix Coyotes coach and was quickly replaced by Dave Tippett, the former Dallas Stars coach? Will.
Wayne Gretzky.
Wayne Gretzky is correct. Tigers, you have the next category, which is science. In 4 hours, the Earth rotates how many degrees? Yanji.
60 degrees.
60 degrees is correct. Mustangs, politics is your category. What expression refers to the significant deviation between the way men and women vote on an issue or candidate? Anish?
Gender gap.
Gender gap is correct. Tigers, the next category for you is culinary arts. What is the best way to store egg whites? Kevin?
In the refrigerator?
Cannot accept that. Sorry. Mustangs, you have a chance to steal this culinary arts question. What is the best way to store egg whites? Amanda?
In the shell.
That is also incorrect. Freeze them. To freeze them is the best way. Mustangs, you have the next category, which is art. The 27-panel fresco, Detroit Industry in Detroit Institute of Arts, is by which noted muralist? Charlie?
Diego Rivera.
That is also correct. And with that correct response, you have opened up a lead of 7 to Blue Valley 2. Tigers, you have the next category, which is U.S. presidents. The Posse Comitatus Act of 1878 bars the U.S. military personnel from searching, seizing, or arresting people in the United States. This law was passed after the U.S. president ordered troops to serve as federal marshals at the polls during the contested 1876 presidential elections. Which president was it? Yanji.
Carter.
That is incorrect. Mustangs, chance to steal this U.S. president's category. The Posse Comitatus Act of 1878 bars the U.S. military personnel from searching, seizing, and arresting people in the U.S. This law was passed after which president ordered the troops to serve as federal marshals at the polls during the contested 1876 presidential election. Who?
Grant.
It is Grant. That is correct. Mustangs, you do get the next category, which is sainthood. In 1982, Pope John Paul II became the first pontiff ever to visit Spain. During his visit to Avila, he paid homage to a woman who died in 1582. This Carmelite nun established 17 convents in Spain during her lifetime. Can you name her? Charlie?
St. Teresa.
It is St. Teresa. Tigers, you have geography as your category. With the completion of this 1986 Delta project, all of its main branches in the Netherlands were closed off to prevent actual flooding. Its headstreams are in the Alps, and it forms the boundary between Switzerland and Liechtenstein and Switzerland and Australia. Name this river. Gotham?
The Danube.
That is incorrect. Mustangs, geography is a category and you have a chance to steal. With the completion of the 1986 Delta project, all of its main branches in the Netherlands were closed off to prevent actual flooding. Its headstreams are in the Alps, and it forms a boundary between Switzerland and Liechtenstein, and Switzerland and Austria. Name it. Amanda?
Is it the Rhone?
It is not the Rhone. It is the Rhine. The Rhine. Mustangs, you have the next category, which is science. How many electrons are there in an atom of beryllium? Atomic number 4, mass number 9. Anish?
4.
4 is correct. Tigers, states is your category. Its flower is the yucca. Its gem is turquoise, and it entered the Union on January 6, 1912. Its nickname is the Land of Enchantment. Name the state. Gotham?
Alaska.
That is incorrect. Mustangs, chance to steal this state's category. Its flower is the yucca. Amanda?
New Mexico.
It is New Mexico. You do get the next category, Mustangs, and it is good health. Through aerobic exercise, it is important to make the heart work more efficiently. What other type of exercise is also recommended for people, especially as they age? Luigi?
Cardiovascular.
Cannot accept cardiovascular. Tigers, chance to steal this good health category. Through aerobic exercise, it is important to make the heart work more efficiently. What other types of exercise is also recommended for people, especially as they age? Jonathan?
Plyometrics.
Cannot accept plyometrics. Sorry. Strength training or flexibility would have been two acceptable answers. Math is the next category.
Can I challenge that?
You certainly can challenge it. They're going to challenge strength training and plyometrics. Plyometrics to strength training. Okay. All right. Sorry, we're not going to, cannot accept that. Math is the next category for you, however, Tigers. Rust doubles in area every 24 hours. At the beginning of the month, a piece of metal had a rust spot on it. On the 20th day, it was completely covered with rust. On what day was it half covered with rust? Got them?
The 19th.
The 19th day, that is correct. Mustangs, current events is your category. The White House took the first steps towards addressing what problems that many doctors say is driving up health care costs? Luigi.
Malpractice suits.
Malpractice suits is correct. We would also accept a tort reform. Tigers, language is the next category. It's a long question, so please pay attention. Translate this verbose prose into a familiar quotation. One who habitually seeks repose in the arms of Morpheus at an end hour somewhat before that usually considered, and who equally bids farewell to said response in an equally prompt manner, is reputed to acquire an excellent bodily condition, not to mention an accumulation of mammon and substantial store sapience. Mustangs, I hope you were listening. What does that verbose prose quote translate into? Early to bed and early to rise makes a man healthy, wealthy, and wise. That was rather verbose prose, I agree. Mustangs, you have the next category, which is machines. It was patented way back in 1843, but the first commercial one wasn't sold until 1964. And it didn't become common until the price dipped below $2,000 in the 1980s. What short word now names what was then marketed as long-distance geography? Time on that. Tigers' chance to steal this machines category. It was patented way back in 1843, but the first commercial one wasn't sold until 1964 and didn't become common until the price dipped below $2,000 in the 1980s. What short word now names what was then marketed as long-distance geography? Howard?
Fax.
It is a fax machine. That is correct. Tigers, you get the next category, which is sports. Which group votes each year to determine the annual winners of the Cy Young Award and Rookie of the Year designation? Please be specific. Kevin?
The National Baseball Writers Association?
We will take that. It had to be baseball writers of some type. That is correct. Mustangs, you have the next category, famous homes. It was dedicated as a national shrine on July 4th. We will finish the question. It was dedicated as a national shrine on July 4th, 1926, which was the 100th anniversary of the death of its owner and designer. Name this historic home. Charlie. Oh, sorry, Luigi.
Monticello.
The Monticello is correct. And with that correct response, you have a score of Blue Valley North 13, Blue Valley 4. As we head into halftime, we do go to our campus updates where we ask a student from each team to give us the goings-on at each high school. And from Blue Valley North, I believe it is Will. Will, what is happening with the Mustangs?
Well, recently, or just last weekend, our boys basketball team won the Shawnee Mission West Invitational. And then they're also 9-2 this year, and they're looking to make it far in state, and so is our swimming team, going to go to state. We took second in Acadecca this last weekend, also in Manhattan, Kansas. And our category's team captain, Ashwin, became Sweetheart Royalty, and we're really excited about that. And our Sweetheart Dance is also on Saturday. And 10 BVN students were nominated for the Presidential Scholar, and there's only 40 in the state, so that's a big accomplishment.
Yeah, so you had 10 out of the 40.
Yes.
1/4 of them from one school. That's pretty impressive.
you know what? You can't beat that, really.
All right. Well, that's excellent. Everything going well academically and athletically at Blue Valley North. And from Blue Valley, we have Jonathan. Jonathan, what's happening with the Tigers?
Yes, well, this past weekend, our 4-speaker debate team just completed its 3rd consecutive state championship. And on top of that, lots of our musical, band, and orchestra performers have qualified for the state team as well. And also, we're working on a musical that it's set to actually perform in the next 2 weeks, I believe. It's Joseph and the Amazing Technicolor Dreamcoat. And yeah, that's Blue Valley.
All right, fantastic. So again, athletically, academically, and the performing arts as well. Nice job. As we head into the second round, it is the lightning round, but we will start the lightning round with our look and listen question. We do have a monitor here in the studio for our contestants to view. The look and listen question is worth 2 points. And here it is. It is an arts category. Name the social dance performed here. Time on that. I'm sorry. Well, Howard, we will go ahead and take it. Yes.
The waltz.
That is not the waltz. Mustangs, chance to steal. Amanda?
A court dance.
Cannot accept that. We're looking for a minuet. Minuets. And I can tell you that those kids were having a great time doing minuet. I'll tell you what, texting and minuets, that's all the rage these days. As we head into the rest of the lightning round, the question will be placed on the floor for either team to answer. If a team does respond incorrectly, the other team will get a chance to steal. Here we go. The next category for both teams is geography. Name the national park in Hawaii where Kilauea is located. Amanda?
Mauna Loa.
That is incorrect. Tigers, chance to steal this geography question. Name the national park in Hawaii where Kilauea is located. Gotham?
Kilauea National Park.
That is incorrect. Close. Volcano National Park is the correct answer. Volcano National Park. Science is the category for both teams. This liquid, which contains white blood cells, flows through the body in its own system. Name it. Jonathan?
Lymph.
Lymph is correct. Movies is the next category for both teams. Raiders of the Lost Ark is an adventure film written, produced, and directed by 2 men who together have made some of the biggest movies of all time. Name them. Howard.
George Lucas and Steven Spielberg.
Those are the 2. That is correct. The next category for both teams is numbers. What is the important difference between the Roman and Arabic number systems? Anish?
The Arabic number system uses 0.
Has a 0. That is correct. Both teams, the next category for you is French. The name of which puffed out hairstyle is from the French for swell? Yanji?
Afro.
Cannot accept afro. Mustangs, chance to steal this category. French is the category. The name of which puffed out hairstyle is from the French for swell? Amanda?
The poof.
Excuse me?
The poof.
Cannot accept the poof. We're looking for bouffant. Bouffant hairdo. Literature is the next category for both teams. All happy families resemble one another. Every unhappy family is unhappy in its own fashion. Which Leo Tolstoy's novel opens with this sentence? Charlie?
Anna Karenina.
That is correct. World history is the next category for both teams. In the 1860s, archaeologist Giuseppe Fiorelli made a human body cast from the cavities of the dead left in the ash in which city? Howard?
Pompeii.
Pompeii is correct. Music is the next category for both teams. What are the 4 main human voice range classifications? Yanji?
Soprano, alto, tenor, bass.
That is correct. Current events for both teams. The FBI annual report said that violent crime was down in 2008, but there was an increase in opportunistic property crimes, like stealing what high-tech items from cars? Amanda.
GPS.
GPS is correct. We also would have taken iPods. Universities for both teams. Creighton, Fordham, Georgetown, Marquette, and Loyola universities were all founded by which? Jonathan.
Jesuits.
That is correct. Astronomy is the next category for both teams. What is the two-word term for the kind of star maintained by the pressure of an electron gas? Howard.
Supernova.
Cannot accept supernova. Mustang's chance to steal this astronomy category. What is the two-word term? Charlie.
A gas planet?
Cannot accept that. We're looking for white dwarf. White dwarf. Great seats is the category for both teams. The balconies overlooking the House and the Senate chambers that provide seating for the public, the press, and staff members are called what? Looking for galleries. Galleries. Theater is the next question for both teams. The drama, A Man for All Seasons, was a popular Broadway play. Who was the subject of the play? Time on that, we're looking for Sir Thomas More. Sir Thomas More. Math is the next category for both teams. If the square of the hypotenuse of a right triangle is 100 inches, what is the perimeter of that triangle? Anish.
24.
24 is correct. Science is the next category for both teams. Explain the difference between hibernation and estivation. Amanda?
In hibernation, the organism is actually like asleep and not moving, and in estivation, it's just kind of sluggish. And I mean, it sleeps more, but.
I cannot accept that, I'm sorry. Tigers, chance to steal this science question. Explain the difference between hibernation and estivation. Howard?
In hibernation, the heart rate slows down, whereas in estivation, the animal just simply sleeps for a long time.
Cannot accept that either. We're looking actually for not only the dormant stage, but occurring during the winter, and the estivation, they go into a deeper sleep, but it happens more during the summer. Those were the two key elements that we needed to have there. So no point awarded on that. Geography is the next question for both teams. Identify the Iowa city on the Mississippi named after a French-Canadian adventurer who was the first white man to settle in that state. The city begins with the letter D. Jonathan.
Des Moines.
It is not Des Moines. Mustangs, chance to steal this geography category. Identify the Iowa city on the Mississippi named after a French-Canadian adventurer who was the first white man to settle in the state. The city begins with the letter D. Luigi?
Davenport.
It is not Davenport. It is Dubuque. Dubuque, Iowa. Both teams, the next category is what's in a word. What men popularized each of these words? The three words we're looking for is eureka, proletariat, relativity. Anish?
Eureka was from Euclid. Relativity was from Einstein. And what was the third word?
I cannot give you that, sorry.
Third word was proletariat, and that's from Marx.
I cannot accept that as the correct answer. Yanji?
Eureka is for Arrhenius, proletariat is from Marx, and relativity is Einstein.
Cannot accept that either. I'm sorry. You were correct on proletariat and relativity, but Eureka was Archimedes. Archimedes. Music is the next category for both teams. The five movements are respectively Sunrise, The Painted Desert, On the Trail, Sunset, and Cloudburst. Which composition by Ferdy Grofi celebrates the natural attraction in Arizona? Charlie?
The Grand Canyon Symphony.
Cannot accept Grand Canyon Symphony. Tigers, chance to steal this music category. The 5 movements are, respectively, sunrise, the painted desert, on the trail, sunset, and cloudburst. Which composition by Ferdy Grofe celebrates a natural attraction in Arizona? Yanji?
Grand Canyon Suite.
Grand Canyon Suite is correct. And with that correct response, you have closed the gap of Blue Valley with the score of 11, Blue Valley North 17. Geography is the next category for both teams. On which 2 seas are the ports of Stettin and Trieste located? Winston Churchill's Iron Curtain ran between these 2 places. Jonathan?
Black Sea and the Mediterranean Sea.
Cannot accept that. Mustangs, chance to steal this geography category. On which 2 seas are the ports of Stettin and Trieste located? Winston Churchill's Iron Curtain ran between these 2 places. Anish?
The Arctic Sea and the Mediterranean.
Cannot accept that. We're looking for the Baltic and the Adriatic. Baltic and the Adriatic. Horticulture is the next category for both teams. It's a long question, so please listen carefully. This tree is valuable to man because it provides shelter, soil anchorage, and scenic beauty. Also, fine wood used for furniture and certain ship fittings. Thatch for roofs and fiber for brooms, mats, and rope. Sap from which vinegar and yeast can be made. Raw materials for the manufacture of candles, soap, perfume, glycerin. Also, food for man and the beast in the meat, milk, and oil of its fruit. What is this tree? Gotham?
The chestnut.
Ken is not the chestnut. Mustangs, chance to steal. What kind of tree did I just describe? Anish?
Coconut tree?
It is the coconut tree. Math is the next category for both teams. A 10-foot rope hangs between 2 buildings. If the rope sags 5 feet at the center, how far apart are the 2 buildings? It's a trick question. The buildings would have to be touching for it to be a 5-foot sag in the middle. 5 and 5 would be 10 feet. Sorry. Poetry. Poetry is the next category for both teams. The New Colossus is the title poem written by Emma Lazarus in 1883. At that time, few people recognized the value of the poem, but today it is very famous for what reason? Charlie?
It's on the Statue of Liberty.
It is on the Statue of Liberty. That is correct. World history is the next category for both teams. Napoleon burned Moscow in the same year the United States began what war against Great Britain? Will?
War of 1812.
The War of 1812 is correct. U.S. history is the next category for both teams. It was formed on December 24th, 1865, in the law office of Thomas M. Jones in Pulaski, Tennessee. Name this organization designed to maintain white supremacy. Jonathan?
The Ku Klux Klan.
That is correct. And with that, Siren, that does give us our final buzzer for the game, and our final score is Blue Valley 12, Blue Valley North 20. Please join us again right here on Categories, as we will bring you not only the brightest, but the quickest minds of high school students all throughout the Johnson County area.